conflict was over, fear was over. Conflict and fear died in that life. See? He can do it, we can do it. We just have to get the context, the habits. So these body of simple habits. So anytime you feel fear, hate on, hate on, hate on, hate on, hate on. See? Always embrace the kingdom. You know, we're embracing mother, brother, sister, friend, psychologist, who are as fragile as we are. So why are you looking for stability in something that is inherently fragile? I know a lot of psychologists, a lot. They themselves should be patients. I hate them. I don't want psychologists to feel bad. But I know a lot of psychologists. And there's a lot of issues going on there. God bless them all. Peace. You know. So, you know, if you have a great master that says, grab onto God's name, you know, and then you have some person, psychologist or physician say, you know, take this tablet. Now, who do you really want to listen to? You know, the one who has gone through this great arc and acquired some substantive experience, or some, you know, human being with very limited resources. You know, trust the saints, trust the masters, trust them with your life. You know, trust them with your life, and then follow their advice. If they say pray, pray. If they say chant God's name, chant God's name. If they say sit still and know God, sit still and know God. See, this is part of your humility, to learn that there is a body of wisdom that we have yet not attained, but is attainable. And there are those souls who have attained it. So get next to them. You know, their literature is there. Sometimes they're embodied. Get next to them one way or the other. Hold on, take their advice, go for it. Don't always think, oh, I'm a puny human being, well, I've got this problem, I got that problem, my nose is too big, my bottom's too big. Forget all that stuff. Forget all of it. Forget all of it. You know, your job is to magnify your spirit. See? Forget all the body stuff. Just get over it. Get over it. Concentrate on your spirit, on cultivating an environment where your spirit can become magnified. See? And that's by all of these simple practices. It allows the spirit to exercise itself. You want another simple practice? And sometimes you have to carry a little notebook. Each person that you engage with during the course of a day. So think about it. In the course of a day, how many clerks do you engage with? Usually quite a few. You know, we go into this store, this store, this store. We go into various stores all day long, the lunch counter and all this. We should slowly mark in our mind the different people that we've had to engage with. And then say a prayer for their welfare. See? These are people that you don't know, that you have no personal relationship with, but you can become an instrument of the kingdom in your own personal life just by keeping a register of the people that you've met during the course of the day. And then at some time, whether it's in your lunchtime or whether it's evening time, go through that psychic register of people and say a simple altruistic prayer. May they be well. You can make a more elaborate prayer if you want, but some direct, may they be well, and go through that person. May God bless them. You're not asking for anything. You're just trying to evoke God to bless this person. You're trying to simply be an agent or a tool of God's blessings to reach that person. So even on just a purely psychological level, you're developing the habit of altruism. On a deeper spiritual level, because you're opening your heart and in a sincere way saying, God, please bless this person. I have no idea why I met that person today. I have no idea why. Or maybe I was just getting a sandwich. But God, may that person be blessed. May they be well. May there be peace. Your heart, it becomes an instrument where that blessing will come from the kingdom, flow into your heart, and flow to that person. You will become an agent of the kingdom just by acquiring that habit. You're constantly, every time you say a prayer for the welfare of others, you are going through a psychic purification. You are becoming a better being and a better instrument for the kingdom. So getting that habit of praying for people, regardless of their age, their height, their race, their skinny, fat, that you become a universal prayer. You get that habit of becoming a universal prayer. You don't think you're becoming an instrument of the kingdom by doing that? And how much has it costed you? It didn't cost you anything. Are you radically advancing your evolution? Absolutely. Absolutely. You are becoming an instrument of the kingdom by simply saying prayers for people with no personal vested interest. You have no personal vested interest. It's just be well. Goodness for the sake of goodness. See? That's a little bit more complicated, but it's a simple practice. Simple practice. Getting that psychic registry and just saying, and also it'll improve your memory. But don't you think by doing that 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, don't you think what the quality of the person you are becoming? You are who you made yourself to be. So by praying, having that prayerful attitude for others, regardless of their condition, don't you think when you're stepping out of this body, what the quality of being you are at that point? Don't you think you're moving towards sanctity? You certainly are. My attitude is don't die a human being. Really, why? Why? Don't die a common human being. You've really missed the ball if you die like that. You really missed the ball. You missed the purpose of coming here. See? This whole place is to create infinite opportunities for your sanctity. That's why this planet is here. Don't miss the ball. So, you acquire that simple habit of praying for others, praying for others. See, if you're going to be a common human being, inherent in that is a profound selfishness. Whether it's conscious or unconscious, it's very selfish. It's me, 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 me. What I want, what I can get, what I can experience. That's not the way of the saints. The way of the saints, they're the instruments of the kingdom. See? They are the instruments of the kingdom. So that's true evolution. That's true evolution. See? Evolution meaning the magnification and the expression of the spirit. See? So these are the types of quiet habits that you don't talk to a lot. You don't talk to your friends about a lot. They won't understand in general. But you just start to build this spiritual disposition of humility before God, remembrance of God, and praying for the blessings of God to bless all. See? Again, over time, more purification, more sanctity, and more intimacy. See? You're not looking at people and things just as things, objects going by, just the clerk, just the blade of grass. You're acquiring an empathy, a sensitivity, see? And then you're acquiring the ability to hold and manifest a blessing of God. See? By you saying prayers, you're purifying yourself. You will be able to hold a divine charge, and that charge will pass through you. You become a conduit. And I'm telling you, this is actually a visceral experience. It's not like a psychologist saying, say, some affirmation, which is good. The affirmations are good. But these are visceral experiences. Your internal sensitivity will become heightened, and you'll feel a rush, like a breeze pass through you and rush through you. You'll feel it. It's not just a thought, you know. It's actually a visceral experience. You will come to have the experience of what would be called sacred touch. That when you touch something, you actually are blessing it. Now that will really turn your head around, to have that experience. Because normally when we touch things, pick this up, do this, just stuff, just common feeling. Later on, because you're saying prayers, and because you have no vestiges of vested interest other than the will of God, whatever God wants, that's what I want. And then you say, you're having an altruistic thought. Through your hand will rush a current. You'll feel it. It'll rush through you. See? It's quite shocking in the beginning. It's quite shocking. You know, it's really amazing. I can bless something? Who, me? It's quite a shocking experience that God will use you as an instrument. Because you don't think like that most of your life. And all of a sudden, this stuff starts happening to you. Where that you feel the rush of God rush through you. You know, and head off to wherever that prayer was going. Quite amazing. Quite amazing. But it's part of it's part of the human experience, the divine human experience. See, if you create the right conditions. You know, you create the right conditions. And then this is quite natural. Acquiring sacred touch is quite natural. See? It's not something like you labor towards or you try to acquire. Oh, I want this ability. If you want it, you've already lost. You've already disqualified yourself. This can't be something you seek. See? Just create the conditions of loving, peaceful altruism. And these things are self-occurring. There's no struggle for it, no trying for it, none of that. If you're trying, you've already missed the point. You've already lost. Just make yourself fit and then observe what God does. That's the truth of it. That's like, so people are trying to, I want this psychic power, I want that psychic power. They've already missed the point. They've already lost. They've already lost. They have no idea. They're already in the ditch, off the road. See? All of those things are quite natural. Quite natural. But simply make yourself fit. You know, make yourself fit. Be humble. Seek true intimacy. Seek empathy. Seek compassion. You know. Be humble before God. Remember God ceaselessly. Get that habit. And then everything happens quite naturally, quite beautifully. No labor. No struggle. See? No struggle at all. Happens, just happens. You know. It's like learning how to float. If you struggle, you sink. If you relax, you float. See? That's how it is. So, again, these are simple practices that you incorporate in your day. Another simple practice is, and I highly recommend this, is read every biography of the saints that you can get your hands on. Read them all. You know? They're all roadmaps, they're all inspiration, and they're all a type of heads up to your future of what's possible, what's doable. But you have to properly inform yourself. So, and really, the lives of saints are grand adventures, you know. And the context of their life is every horrible thing happens to them, and every sacred thing happens to them. So, like we think that, you know, the process to sanctity should be this sort of Disneyland journey of adventure. Well, that's just not realistic. You know, look at Gandhi's life. He was in prison, in and out, in and out, in and out. His life was threatened all the time. Every time he put his foot out of his katir, his life was threatened. That's the real deal. You know, he was committed to God, come what may. Come what may. See? So you have to get a realistic view. You think, oh, I'm searching for God, I love God, I want God. Why am I having these headaches? Well, that's just part of life. You know, don't expect an easy journey. Expect a journey. That's it. Expect a journey. Don't expect, you know, this kumbaya Disneyland. Just read the lives of saints and see the level of struggle. They go through terrific struggle. But because they're maintaining this pure heart, reverential heart to God, they also, through that very difficult struggle, come to deep intimacy with God. See? So if you're thinking, oh, I don't want my skin pricked, well, you're going to be a human a very, very long time. You won't find the kingdom. But if you say, God, I love you, I'm interested, I don't understand you, but I want to find you, then get the attitude of come what may. I'm on this journey, come what may. See? Now you have a mature insight. Whatever you're saying, God, whatever it takes. I'm not putting conditions on finding you. See? We all want a soft bed, sweet music, you know, fine food, you know. God bless you, good luck. Your feet will be rooted to this earth for a very long time. But when you say come what may, then it means just that. Whether it's a sunny day or a hurricane, you're still stepping forward. You're still going to pray. You're going to still remember. You're going to still have a kind action. See? Come what may. You know, you are forging a sacred disposition. If everything was always fair, kind, and sweet, are you really going to forge a strong, sacred disposition if it's never been challenged? See? Without the challenges, you don't have the opportunity to practice these divine qualities under all circumstances. It has to be tested. It's a fire. Part of this world is a fire that we have to step into. It's a big kill, to purify us, to make us strong in our attitude towards God. See? So it's not just when everything is going well, God is great. And then when things are not so well, God, I don't know about God. He's thinking, what's he done for me today? That kind of humanness, that's got to go. You got to go. You have to. The spirit must trump the flesh, and you have to constantly practice that. And spirit trumping the flesh. So the habit of persistent prayer and persistent mantra and persistent remembrance. That's spirit trumping flesh. And you have to just do it. You're remaking yourself. You're remaking yourself. So these are many simple practices. Are there any thoughts about what I've said or discussed? Yes, Sylvia.
I think I wonder about your shrine. Should it always be the same place that you sit and meditate at, or sit?
It can virtually be anywhere. You don't have to just have one shrine. Mm-hmm. You can have a micro shrine in your meditation spot, mm-hmm. and you can have a shrine somewhere else in the house. Mm-hmm. This is also a thing that I see often. Is a lot of times people hide their shrines. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what one of the things I love about Jewish culture? They wear this yarmulke on their head. They say, I am a Jew. Mm-hmm. They're proud of it. They're not hiding their yarmulke under their vestments or something, their clothing. No. They say, this is part of my identity. I have great respect for that. I have really great respect for that. They're not. There's a dignity and an integrity to that. The same thing when we have our shrines. I go into a lot of houses and people hide their shrine away. You know, it's like, oh, they don't want people to know that this is a part of their personality. You know, they say, well, this is just for me. But no. Like, look at us. We wear this yellow. There's no hiding when you walk around wearing this. You know, you have to put God first. You know, you have to say, look, whether they think this way or they think that way, God bless them all. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I do. You have to acquire that strength in you. You know, don't hide these things. You have to say, this is part of my disposition. Part of my disposition is a love for sanctity. So it should be there, as like any other element of your life. You know, you can have your sports trophies here and your shrine there. Well, you love sports, no problem. You love God, no problem. It should be just part of your existence, not hidden away. See?
Should your meditation spot be a little hidden away?
Your meditation spot is not a question of hiding it away. It's a question of having a sanctified spot that is used just for one process that people are not trampling through. See? It's sequestered because it's not a zone for people to be walking through or people fiddling with the objects. See? So that is usually sequestered a little bit just so that it's not in the highway of life. See? The children aren't jumping in there and playing and people are not walking over the meditation. That's a sanctified spot. So it has to be kept just for that. You know, so you don't put your meditation spot in a place that people are walking through and doing all kinds of activities. See? Mm-hmm. You're just sort of maintaining the sanctity of the spot. You know? Because people are a broadcast tower, often mostly of chaos. And what you want is in your meditation spot, you want to develop a sanctified vibration that's localized to that spot. See? Not constant interruption of highly variant energies. See? So that's why you have your meditation spot sanctified and put aside. But your shrine, and you can have multiple shrines, should be part of your living personal disposition as this is part of who I am. Mm-hmm. See? It shouldn't be hidden. And it's also there as an inspiration to people or as a prod for them to think about the divine. So you're doing a seva by having a shrine in a public place, you know, like in a living room. You know. So these are, again, simple things, you know. But your search for God should not be hidden. It shouldn't be boasted over. It should just be part of the context of who you are. You know, this is part of my search. Just like you went to school, you got your degrees. It's just part of who you are and part of your living experience. Part of who you are and part of your living experience is the wonder and the search for God. That's also part of my disposition. See, it shouldn't be hidden. No, this is just part of who I am. See? Keep balance and honesty, integrity. You know. Yes.
How do you create a mantra if you don't have a religious affiliation or you're connected to a different religion than Hinduism, for example, or Buddhism?
Well, the premise of your statement is not quite correct. Well, it's not correct. Because you don't create a mantra. There's no such thing as that. You do not create a mantra. You can create an affirmation. That you can do. A positive statement. Mantra is a gift from the kingdom. Mantra is the grace of God. The origins of mantra are the realization of sanctified beings, the realization of saints and masters, hearing the various vibrations of God, and God blessing them to know the potency of that vibration. And then they become a holder and a deliverer of that message. Practice this mantra, it'll do this. Practice this mantra, it'll do that. See? So mantra is a process of revelation, which is purely a spiritual event. It's not a process of human creation. It's something that's occurring in the kingdom, that's revealed to the saints and masters, and they deliver it here in the earth region. See? So you cannot create a mantra, but you can create an affirmation.
So if a person has no religious affiliation, let's say they call themselves spiritual, what do they do in that case?
In that case, they can affiliate with some prayer that has deep spiritual significance to them, or and they can do that as a japa, as a persistent repetition, or they can seek out a meaningful and humanitarian affirmation, meaning a non-selfish affirmation. See? And then constantly work on that as a psychological process. See? And then they'll advance. See? It's part of the mind culture. If you say a prayer, it's not only mind culture, but it draws in the sacred more immediately. The affirmation will work more psychologically, but useful, very, very useful. Prayer will work both psychologically and it'll draw in the sacred. See? God listens. Really, God listens. You know, there's no such thing as an unheard prayer. It's just not possible. You're speaking the language of God the moment you pray. And it's not necessarily the words. It's the feeling. It's received. It's received. You know. So as you go through that process of affirmation and of sacred prayer, that will lead you into a faith, see, or a religious tradition, or it will lead you to a mystic, a saint, a yogi, or a monk, some where you can gather clarity, some realization, and then you'll embrace what's appropriate. The appropriate mantra for your state of evolution will become manifest. See, so just because you're at one point not faith and unaffiliated doesn't mean at another point you won't have deeper faith, deeper realization, and affiliation. See? And whether your affiliation is Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Zoroastrian, Native American, doesn't make any difference at all. Because none of those guys exist in the kingdom. The kingdom is full of spirits, divine spirit. The context of religion is developed here for our convenience. It's just a different ladder, a different historical ladder, different historical context in which the sacred was, stirring the pot. See? There's no Jews, Christians, Hindus, Muslims in the kingdom. Just lovers of the kingdom, lovers of the God. Those differences are here. If I have profound love in my heart, and you have profound love in your heart, is there any difference? If I experience silence, and you experience silence, is there any difference? See? Same thing there. The glory of God is there. That's it. That's it. So, yes.
I really like what you said about doing the chanting or japa and then observe the silence to listen. And I've been doing chanting all my life, as a kid, and then at different phases of my life I've been doing different mantras and all that, but never did what you said, like after finishing the chanting, listen. I finish and I go, right?